I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation, in my high tower. I will call upon thee, Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. In my distress I called upon the Lord, and cried unto my God. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even to his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled, and foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken, because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon the cherub, and did fly. Yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters, and thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones and coal fire. The Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice. Hailstones and coal of fire. Yea, he sent out his arrows and scattered them, and he shot out lightnings and discomforted them. Then the channels of the waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. Welcome to the end of the internet, set 1SQ. The end of your world is near. Let's see if the Sky Harbor crew shows up. Just a quick little roll call to see who's going to make it here. We probably won't be on here too long. This probably won't be saved. Hacking the Red Room this day, December 27th, 2022. Right now, 1:59 west of the Rockies, 377 miles south of the Judgment Scar. Blood always finds its level. Let's see here. Sunflower, Roosevelt Lake, Bartlett Reservoir. There we are. Black Mesa, if we can get a focus there. Not sure how to send out notifications. Let's go see what this does. Enable share. There's okay, reconnecting. Not sure if that went through. What is this? Okay, sure thing there. Okay. Welcome to the live chat. All maps are grids. Okay. Continuing. He sent from above. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from them which hated me. For they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. The Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the channels cleanness of my hands hath he redeemed me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord, and have not wickedly departed from my God. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. I was also upright before him, and I kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore hath the Lord recompensated me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight. With the merciful thou wilt shew thyself merciful, with an upright man thou wilt shew thyself upright. With the pure thou wilt shew thyself pure, and with the forward thou wilt shew thyself forward. For thou wilt save the afflicted people, but wilt break down high looks. For thou wilt light my candle. The Lord my God will enlighten my darkness. For by thee I have run through a troop, and by my God I have leaped over a wall. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. For who is God save the Lord? Psalm 18, one of the most powerful, my goodness, one of the most powerful parts of the Bible right there. Psalm 18:15. If you check it again, about the channels, about the water. This is where a lot of secrets are. And we're still waiting here to apply some wrenches. If that can happen anytime soon, that would be great. It might not happen. So, no. The first thing, as far as order of business as is, the flat earth is a deception. And I'm sorry that this just even recently, yesterday, has exposed somebody and it literally brought the evil to light. But this attitude of thinking you're smart and thinking that you're going to be able to outwit God's children because you like this term flat earth just shows your folly and your foolishness. The earth is not flat. The earth is the Lord's. I'm sorry you missed the memo. It's right here. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. The earth is not flat. The earth is the Lord's. It is founded upon the seas and established on the floods. Good thing we can get that out of the way. So, if you still think it's flat, you have a disconnect. The earth is what? The earth is founded upon the seas. The earth is what? The earth is established on the floods. It's not flat. So, and when you get here, try to check in. Just put a little mark in the chat section so I can apply wrenches. Yes, this is a red room. This is a Red October resonance cascade. We've already done an intro. Just wait till you find out about the heavens above. But I'm sorry, guys. It is a great deception. There is not one Christian group out there that knows what they're doing. Somebody recently told me that they think getting calluses on their skin is adaptation. That's not adaptation. So the entire Christian movement of people fighting against evolution, you're actually still advocating for evolution. And apparently you don't know it. That's how good Satan is. If you're claiming there's no evolution, but you're still saying there's adaptation, you have a disconnect from reality. So if the Bible isn't making sense to you, you might have to get a different book. You might have to get a medical encyclopedia to help you out. Let's see what it says. Natural selection, a mechanism of evolution proposed by Charles Darwin. It states that the tendency for survival and reproduction of organisms is most likely to occur in those who are best adapted to their environment. So if you don't know that adaptation is the key to evolution, well, now you do know. So adaptation is evolution. Words have meanings. If you're so prideful, oh, but Exo, you know, there's different colored bears in different locations, and there's brown bears in the forest, and there's white bears in the cold places. Yes, because the bears that already have the ability to survive in those locations go and live in the locations where they already have the ability to survive. Do you think the bears went to a location and weren't able to survive and then died and then became stronger because they died? That's that's what evolution is. So if you're claiming adaptation, you're still claiming evolution. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I found this out 4 years ago, and every single one of these Christian groups advocating for so-called special creation, which, yes, the creation of the heavens and the earth is very special, is still promoting evolution. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. We'll go ahead and put that little thing back there. Oop, went too far. Bear with me. We already read natural selection. We'll go back to it if we need to. Okay. Oh, getting warmer, getting warmer. Okay. Here we are. So for everybody out there, I hope you can finally nail this down as far as what the definition of evolution is, okay? No, that's not it. That's not evolution. This is the evolution you're thinking about. The theory that what is that? All species of plants and animals, including humans, have come into existence by a gradual continuous change from earlier forms. See, natural selection, which we already did. Remember what that said? So instead of going there, we're going to go actually to this magical hidden word right here where pseudo-intellectuals continue to use. Do you see that? That's right. Species. Every time you say the word species, this is for the Bible-believing Christians out there, I just want you to know that you make an angel want to vomit. You don't understand the words that are coming out of your own mouth. So let's go to species. Let's see how long it takes us to get there. If you know your ABCs, it's really easy to use one of these dictionaries. Let's just keep moving right along. Hopefully I'm not too dyslexic today. All right. Must be getting close here somewhere. Did I pass it? Where are we at? Speech. There we are. So in order to find out what species means, you have to go to speciation. Speciation, believe it or not, is right before species. There it is. Speciation. The evolutionary process. Do you see right there? The evolutionary process. Speciation is the evolutionary process. Now here's their claim for species. Let's see what this is. If there's about 1,000 different definitions. In biology, a category or classification for living organisms, this group is just below genus and is usually capable of interbreeding. Oh, so in other words, you don't need the word species. That would be the same as kind. So what is speciation again? Check it out. the evolutionary process by which new species of organisms are formed. There's no such thing as species. Do you have an example of cats giving birth to an animal that's not a cat anymore? Do you want to take a guess what a cat is going to give birth to? If you see a pregnant mommy cat, I bet even a 5-year-old knows that the cat is going to make kittens. Well, if a cat can only make kittens, that means there's not going to be a speciation event. Man, you guys must be must be sleeping out there tonight. Obviously, now it's the new day, 28th of December 2022. Still no remarks. We're having a slow night. My Discord shut down. That's why I'm doing this. So we just wanted to do this off the cuff and get some definitions and some clarity out there, because not a one of you Christians out there, you men out there claiming that you're bright and you're going to defend the word of God, not a one of you can do it. Everywhere I've gone for the past 10 years, every single time. I mean, Kent Hovind has been going against evolution now for 40 years and can't tell me what a species is, and can't give me an example of adaptation, but continues to use these words. The number one person, the number one supposed proponent for creation that's going against evolution, can't identify what an example of adaptation is, and he's been doing it for over 40 years. Well, I'm barely 40 years old, and for some reason God showed me this deception is not to be laughed at. Every single one of these Christians has no idea. And then there's going to be an exception out there. I'm sure Jace will find somebody that's an exception, or Godrockin, or Little G, Stormfire, Alucard, Gemzy, Stand By Me. Please stand by. But yeah, if you don't understand that there's no such thing as a species and you're still using that term, you're not getting it. If you're still using the word adaptation, you're not getting it. There's no such thing. I'm sorry this is boring. I'm sure there are some scrolling to do on YouTube to get some feeds and to get some entertainment. This is not going to be entertaining right now. This whole world is deceived, and none of you can even talk to children and tell them the truth. You're going to continue to push a deception and tell them things like, look at these different species of leaves. Like I heard somebody a year and a half ago who pretends to be a Torah observant Christian, but uses the words of Satan and then gets offended when we point it out. It says right here, speciation, the evolutionary process. If it says evolutionary process, it's not real. There's no such thing as an evolutionary process. There's what's called creation. And on day 6, our El Shaddai, Elohim, the guardian of the gates of Israel, said it's good, and it's very good. Not that it's going to get good, which removes adaptation. Okay? I don't know why God blessed me and gave me this medical encyclopedic dictionary so that I could figure this out. I'm sure that you can as well if you just think about it. If something doesn't already have the ability to survive, what happens? It dies. So there is no such thing as adaptation. This is biology 101. Every single part of biology depends on the fact that all living organisms already have the ability to survive from the very beginning. Does that make sense? If it doesn't have the ability to survive from the beginning, do you know what happens to an organism? Anybody want to take a guess? This really isn't that complicated. It really isn't. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Right there. That was the key you were missing right here the whole time. The face of the waters. Face of the deep, face of the waters. What was first? Darkness was first. No, Exo, the earth was without form and void. Yes, the earth was without form and void. That means the earth did not exist. Tohu wabohu means without form. That means it has no form. And void, that means there's nothing to it. It's not only without form, It's without void. The Hebrew is very specific and the Hebrew is very physical. You can think of it like this. If there's something that's just without form, then it just doesn't have a form. If there's something that's void, okay, that's without form. But if you have both, without form and void, that means it does not exist. So the first thing was what? That's right, darkness. This was day one. So you must remember, light had to be added because it was dark. What was it? It was darkness on the face of the deep. Wow, that shows you volume, right? That shows you size at a scale we can't understand. Tahom would be the abyss. That would be the Hebrew word. Okay, it's funny. It sounds like the home almost like that is a home of Elohim. That's pretty special. So again, the face of the waters. That was it. There is no land here. Why do I know that? Because it's not until right here. It's not number 9. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. That's 9. That's when the dry land appeared, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth. He doesn't even name it until 10, Genesis 1:10. Now it's earth, now it's there. We have a title in the beginning. God created the heavens and the earth. That's literally a title. Bereshit, meaning in beginning, which is what Genesis is the ultimate name of the page. Of course, we understand that every single name in the Old Testament isn't named how it is in English, like Numbers is actually midbar, if I can remember, which means wilderness. So it gets very tricky, right? Things have, they haven't evolved. Going from Numbers, going from midbar, which is wilderness, to Numbers is not evolution either. I hope that's not too confusing. So what was first again? That's right, darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Anybody want to guess when the second time creation was all water underneath the heaven as far as the face? That's right. When the judgment of Noah's flood happened, it was again a face of the waters. The second time, a new beginning, right? That's when Noah had to then, of course, repopulate the entire existence under the heavens. No, the existence is not a plane. You see, there are planes on this existence, right? What happens when I come to the edge of the earth? It's called a beach. I've been there, and I've seen one in San Diego many years ago. There's thousands of beaches. That's the end of the earth. And then water continues. Well, that's a negative of land in between those gaps called oceans and the seas, right? So when the land ends, the water continues. Again, the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the what? The waters. That's what it was at the beginning. It was water, which is mayim. The word mayim is the foundation of the Word of God and pretty much creation. How do we know this? Well, we look at the word God in Hebrew, which is Elohim. And did you hear that? It's right there. What's water again? Water is mayim. God is Elohim. And what's the first thing that he actually created? The heavens, which is shamayim, which is literally the water with a shin letter in front of it. In front of meaning to the right of it. Obviously, Hebrew reads from right to left. So I know it gets a little bit confusing, but if you bear with me and just give me your ear, this will start to make sense, because the whole world is deceived and nobody has yet to explain this correctly. I haven't heard one person in 10 years explain this correctly, and that's why I'm doing this. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the what? The Mayim. What's God's name? Elohim is his proper title. And what is heaven again? Shamayim. So you have Mayim, Elohim, Shamayim. It's that im. That's the big secret there that everybody missed. It was the water. It was never about earth. And you wonder why the truth movement is so confused and why they could never get it? Because they were Googling earth, earth, earth in the Bible. And it was about the Mayim because of Elohim in the Shamayim. That's the big ticket here, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. It was all right here in Genesis 1. And like we mentioned earlier in Psalm 24, what did it say? It said the earth is what? Well, what is the earth, Exo? What are you saying? I just love that question. The earth is the Lord's. These are the big secrets, because they're not secrets. When Satan wants to hide something, he hides it right in front of your face. When you decided not to be a Democrat anymore, Satan said, that's okay, be a Republican. When you said, oh, I don't believe in this outer space religion, and yeah, the earth isn't a ball, Satan said, that's fine. I think you should be a flat earther. It looks good on you, and look at all the new friends you can make, and it'll be a great party, and you'll have a lot of fun. There's plenty of cake and ice cream and alcohol and drugs. And you said, yeah, this is pretty nice. And you became a flat earther. And many people fell for that. Got to be honest, it was pretty tempting. But it's also a deception. The earth is not flat. It's not even a plane. Earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof the world, and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. This is reiterated again in 2 Peter 3. What does God tell us in the New Testament? He says, for this they willingly are ignorant. So this is God speaking in anger. For this they willingly are ignorant, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth is standing out of the what? The earth is standing out of the water and in the water. And just to make sure you know why God's upset, he says, because the earth that then was overflowed with water perished. This is why they are willfully ignorant. So when you're talking to people about evidence and you think you're going to prove something to them, they're not going to listen, because it's never been about evidence. We're coming up on 30 minutes here real quick. This is only going to be a real nice, quick, and to the point, shot in the dark, spur of the moment thing that had to happen. And this is a red room, for lack of a better term, just a quick little Bible reading, a quick little Bible study. This is the very basics. The very basics are where the foundations of the truth are. We haven't even gone to Exodus. The very foundation of the entire Word of God is in Exodus. Maybe you knew that. It's Exodus 20. Yes, this is what we know as the Ten Commandments. In Exodus 24, it says, you shall not make any graven images of anything of any likeness in the heavens above, or the earth beneath, or the waters underneath the earth. And when I found that a couple of years ago and I kept reading it, I started to realize, wow, there's something here. There's something special that we've been missing. You see, if there's waters underneath the earth, that means that the earth isn't holding the water. The waters are holding the earth. This is reiterated over and over again. That's what we missed. That's why people have such a hard time, and they want to say ridiculous things and say that the Bible's a flat earth book. The Bible is not a flat earth book, because the earth is not flat. I'm at 4,200 feet elevation right now, just north of Mexico. If I go north to Phoenix, it reduces to 1,000 feet and then goes back up a few hundred miles north and goes back up to a 4,000 feet. And then you have the Judgment Scar, and then it goes down again. That's not a plane. It goes up and down, and there's hills, valleys, there's mountains, there's judgment scars, there's water courses, there's canyons beyond your imagination. I tried to show you, but you don't want to see. The videos are literally on this same channel, but you don't care. You're too busy doing something else, and I'm sorry that I'm boring. But one of these days, you're going to actually take this book serious, and you're going to realize that the information was here the whole time. It's about Elohim. We don't live in a geocentric earth. We live in a Jesus-centric creation. "30 seconds left. The word of God is quick and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of this life, is not of the Father, but is of this world. And the world passeth away in the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever." Thanks for being part of this Red Room special event, Red October Resonance Cascade. Godspeed.